can't give up. I must save my people.
Not yet.
No, I will succeed. Burn to ash, demon of Atzoatl.
Come to me, Dark Warriors. Battle awaits us.
I can't do that yet. Not yet.
Okay. Internet drop, wala. It's me again, your boy Jamesh, back again with another video. And today it's not about Outriders or Diablo Immortal. Today it's about Path of Exile. We'll be showcasing one of the build that I theory crafted over the course of playing, I think for about a month now. And also one of the reasons is most of my friends and the people I know, they're all running Spark builds, which is very tiring to see. So everyone's running it. So this one, I think it's very viable because it can clear out anything from T1 to T16s, and it works no problem. So if you're interested, let me take you to the build. So this build revolves around a skill called Eye of Winter. So the reason for choosing Eye of Winter, it's because of its base critical hit chance. So it's like 12% compared to Spark or other Firebolt. Their base critical hit chance is like 7, I think, 7 or 8%. So you need twice as much gears for critical hit chance to be considerable when making a crit build. So this one, it's easier to set up because you only need a few pieces of gears would have that has a critical hit chance in it. And also, let's talk about the weakness of this skill. The main weakness is its projectile speed. It's quite a bit slow. If you make it quality 20, you'll get like 30% increased projectile speed, but it's still very slow. The reason we need high projectile speed, because the spiral, if you have a spiral and you have low projectile speed, you would see that even the shards are very slow and it just goes a very short distance. Now this build works on Snake Pit Pearl Ring combined with Ricochet. So if you put this on the left side and you put Ricochet, it's like a seeking missile. Like you don't need to aim for anything. You just shoot and then it looks for a prey. It looks for its target and it bounces, it forks, and it chains. So if you have a very high projectile speed, and let's say you're doing breaches and deliriums, you would notice that enemies that's very far, they're all being killed from afar. So projectile speed is very important when you're running EOW or Eye of Winter. Alright, so the next thing is this build revolves around this Rising Tempest, one of the support gems. And what it does is every time you cast, every time you do elemental spells, it gives you 12%. So let me show you how it works. So we are always using Orb of Storm because it gives us survivability. I have a support gem, Font of Blood and Font of Mana, because this build is very mana hungry. Okay, it's very mana hungry, so you need to have a good amount of mana regeneration for this to work. And okay, wait a second. Let me just let me sell stuff first. Okay, let me sell stuff first. What does he want? This is Mancanor Star 1. Wait, wait, what does he want? Why is it lagging? Morbid Horn Gold Circlet. Okay, gotcha. This one. Sorry about this. 5XL is 5XL, you know? Alright, let me put that in. Dump. Alright, so where were we? So projectile speed it's already been tackled. Fucking name lost. Alright, Rising Tempest. We're talking about Rising Tempest. So Rising Tempest scales every time you do an elemental skill. So we always use that so we can have the effect of Phantom Mana. Okay, and then we also use flammability so that our, because this is the regular one, right? It freezes and it shocks, but it doesn't ignite. So if you put this in, it does the 3 elements all together, right? And on top of that, it also gained 50%, another 50% of fire damage, because as you can see here, burst shard, projectile. Here, if the eye passes over an elemental ground surface, it will take on that surface effect, applying it to the nearby enemies and causing shards to deal more damage of the corresponding type. So that's fire. Fire is the only thing, because this is the only inscription. It's so happened that it's fire. So what it does is, if you cast an inscription skill, like say Sigil of Power, anything with the runic encryption, it's considered as an encryption. So you can use this one, and it leaves like it leaves a burning ground. So if your projectile pass through the burning ground, and it adds 50% fire damage to it. So we are combining the 3 elements to scale up our damage. Okay, so right now, why do we need so much mana regeneration? Because this one is running on Archmage. Okay, now we're not doing any conversion like using this one that it converts cold damage into lightning damage. This one lightning damage over to cold damage. We're not doing that. The reason for that is we would want to have all the ailments applied to the target. So this one by default it's cold damage, so it can freeze up enemies. So you can put nodes that can scale up damage when the enemy is frozen, and then because we put in Archmage, now these cold damage can apply shock as well. So now we have freeze and shock, and if you put this one in, then you have ignite as well. So you have 3 elements working in harmony there, right? So as you can see, without the Archmage, our damage is just 9,600 DPS. And you see the scaling adds up as well. You see if I do lightning spell, it's just 10-7. If I do, it goes 11-9. If go fire, like 3 of them together, it's like 15k. Or not 15k because it hits something. So 1, 2, 3. 13, 5, 52. That's just DPS. The damage beyond that, it's because of the other modifiers. Now, so the scaling, it's like plus 1,000 DPS being added. Now, if you put Archmage, you would see in the tooltip that Archmage would now give you this added lightning damage, right? So you now have cold, you now have lightning, depending on how much mana you have. So for each 100 mana, you would have 8% damage increase. So that's why this is getting bumped up. So you're gonna need to stack. As you can see, we don't have any energy shield. We just focus on everything in mana. And if you have so many mana, the goal is when you cast a skill, your mana shouldn't be moving to maintain survivability. It's not the best right now. You see, it's still moving because I put in some cast speed, but I can. This one is very manageable. Right. So now you see that every time without the Archmage, every time I use an elemental skill, it just gives you plus 1,000. Now this one, every time I hit it, you see 39k. So it's like 4,300 increase just for one skill. So if I go 1, 2, and 3, it goes 56,000. And you might be asking, hey, I see a lot of YouTube videos, they're running like 250k DPS and stuff like that. Yes, because the way Eye of Winter works is it gives you a spiral, and within that spiral, it has 8 shards, right? So that shard is the 56,000 for each shard. So you need to times it by 8. So that's how powerful it is. So 56,000 times 8, that's your DPS. Because it has 8 shard. Plus, we're running Snake Pit and Ricochet. So once it hits, it creates another shard. And it bounces. Because this one, if it hits, it forks. It makes 2 more shards. And then it also chains from chain from terrain. So it's like, you know. Right, so that's that. And what else? Oh yeah, mana remnants. This is very important for because mana is your life, right? Without mana, you'd be dead. So you need to work with your mana problems. So one of the main contributor for that, it's the mana remnants. So every time you deal a critical hit, again we're a critical build, it gives you a remnant, and also every second it triggers like a if you hit a shock target, and then you'd have like a mana remnant that you can pick up, and you'll have like 200 mana just for a single one. And let me take you to the item usage. So as you can see here, we still are going for, we are cold bender and actually all the elements, but we are main cold. Okay, so +5 to all cold spell skills because Eye of Winter's cold skill, and increase cold damage and spell damage, and cold damage, spell damage. You see how much mana regen we have. This one is 56%. This one is 42%. And this one is 100% mana regeneration rate. Combined with the amulet, which has 33%, plus the mental toughness, because it reduces mana cost while not on low mana. Okay, and if you're not on low mana, usually 30% is low mana. 35% of your maximum mana or less. So if you're lower than that, then it's not working. But we have so much mana, so this is good. Combined with conservative casting, so it reduces mana cost of skill by 8%, gives you mana regen rate, and 4 of like a little brother here. So these 3. Okay, and what else for mana? We have here mana regen, and then mana regen, and this one is very important. Ether flow. So ether flow gives you 50% increased mana regen if you're not stationary. Well, we're always moving. We don't want to be stationary. We'll be dead, right? And then this one's mana regen as well. And this one, it gives us 5% increased maximum mana. Now, On my playstyle, I opt to use this one because I want to be casting spells very fast. But if you find that you cannot maintain your mana, then you can just remove this and then replace it with 4% increase maximum mana. You'll get into like almost 4.9k mana, which is your HP, and it would increase your mana regen as well. Right, so how much mana regen we have? Currently, we have 1023. If I use Font of Blood, it's 1092. And if I'm moving, it goes 1222. So that's sufficient in working it. Plus, we do have this one that every time we kill an enemy, we get 40 mana. So if there's like multiple enemy, let's say breaches or deliriums, then your mana shouldn't be going down. Plus, you have mana remnants. Right. Okay, so let's talk about critical. So critical right now it's sitting at 517. It should on my previous build it's like 650, but I find that I'm having some mana problems, so I have to remove this cold skills to make this build work because it's very mana hungry. And on this tree node, I don't have this, right? I don't have the projectile speed. I'm just using acceleration to compensate. And then I put everything because these two nodes are very powerful. The moment of truth, it gives you 25% increased critical damage, plus all of its leg, it's like critical as well. Plus combined with this one, 30% increased damage. The crashing wave, it's like a global damage. It's not like it goes on a tunnel for modification. I find that if you have this, it like increases everything. So that's one of the choice that you can make. But I think the damage for T15 for T15 to 16's runs, I think it's sufficient enough. So I'd prefer to have the slot to put in something else and just use this one for projectile speed. Plus this. This is projectile speed, projectile speed, projectile speed, and projectile speed. So without acceleration, it's still okay if you have this. But let me show you how fast it is if you have um, an acceleration working together. So let's say the enemies, you're on the breach and there's like a lot of enemies across the map and it all goes for you. So if you hit like this, then these shards that you're looking at the screen will fork, will chain, and you don't have to like yeah, but you cannot use it because it will become very mana hungry again because it consumes one. It has 120% cost multiplier, so that's the other reason. Yep. So we prefer that. It's still fast, but that one's faster. Sorry. Okay, so critical nodes. What are the critical nodes that we have? Critical nodes is this one. First is this critical, 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 and all these are very important. This one, when you see increased damage, you should take it because it's not like it's like the scaling for increased damage compared to like increase spell damage. Like it works on one modifier, but this one it works like as a whole, your damage as a whole outside the computation. So if you see like this increased damage, you should get it. Let me show you. So 35k, right? And then I put in that. And then if I hit a critical, it goes 46. That's just a single node. That's just this one. This one. Oh, sorry, 3 nodes. Because, yeah, this one. If you dealt a critical hit recently. These 3. Okay, so that's that. And then we go up here to get the next level. I'll be getting this jewel socket. And then this one's critical, critical, critical. This one is critical, 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 critical. And all these are critical. This ones are critical as well. Right, and next thing, if let's say we hit 100, then we need to get this. 700% I think is the max you can get, or more maybe, if you have equips for it. But critical is very, it's very OP in this game because it gives you like, let's say right now it's 517. So if you hit like 36,000 times 8, sorry, 56,000 after the upscale times 8, and then whatever damage that might be, let's say 350,000, then you times it by 5. So that's how fucking strong it is, the critical. And why we're doing critical? Because our base critical hit chance is 12%, working with critical weakness. Okay, and if you want to do sigil power, which I don't do, there's a lot of things to click. What else? Hypothermia, of course, you need to use it, but you cannot if you don't want to. That's fine. What else? So yeah, so the next step here is to have this filled, all critical, and that or these two nodes. It's very powerful. Yeah, so one thing I want to talk about, Elemental Storm. Why were we going Elemental Storm instead of Double Shock? Because I think the damage is enough. That's one, and this Electrocute works really well with Elemental Storm. So what is Electrocute? Electrocute, it no longer costs shock because the source of our shock is the main Eye of Winter. Now for Elemental Storm, combined with neural overload and electrocute, this one, it lowers down the threshold for them to be electrocuted. So as you can see, let me just, yeah, primed. If they're nearby, let's say they go to the circle where the elemental storm is, then they are primed for electrocution. Now their threshold, which supposed to be 100% to get electrocuted, for normal enemies it's just 40%, so they're automatically electrocuted. And then for magic, 60, 70, and 80. So, and we put in magnified effect. So normally you would see four of these. Yeah, like four of these if there's like so many enemies, because we do have ingenuity together with this one, 150% more cooldown recovery rate. So I always see four of those lying around. So if they pass that, then they'll become electrocuted. They're not doing anything. They're just stays there electrocuted. So that's that. And if you hit them with this, let's say there's a boss, right? Alva is a boss, and then I hit him, and then this one you would have the circle and he will get electrocuted, so that person or that boss is not doing anything. Now before that electrocution goes away, remember you're still a cold bender. That boss would be frozen. Now if that boss is frozen, then the elemental resistance is gone, plus you have 50% increased damage for it, and then apply all the damage that we've talked about. So the goal is to make sure that the boss is dead before it's unfrozen, because bosses in T16s are, they're pinnacle bosses. They're doing some crazy stuff. So just kill them before they do that. Right. So I think that's basically it. Yeah, if you want to try it out, it's not very expensive. If you don't have a mana regen to support it yet, even without Archmage, right? This one, it still works. You just notice that there's no shock, but everything is frozen on your screen. Okay, Archmage is just like the end game of it. If you have the mana regen to support it, then use Archmage, then your DPS would go. But 10,000 DPS, it goes to like 15, and then you switch Archmage to Elemental Conflux, you would still have 25 up to 30k of damage if it's on cold, and it still works. I've been running that for like a week, I guess, before adding Archmage when I completed the mana regen equipments. So yeah, let me know what you think. If you have any questions, just feel free to comment down below, and I'll make sure to answer all of it. Have a good one, guys. Bye for now. Ciao. And I'll take you to the gameplay, of course. Hey guys, just an update. I don't want to edit out the video, so I'll just add it on at the end of it. So, made a few changes. I sold my staff, or I mean my wand, and it's actually a better one, the previous one, but this one has a 66% increased mana regeneration rate, and it made way for a few changes within our nodes. So previously we have the neural electrocute and neural overload from the elemental storm. Now elemental storm would now have lightning exposure and conduction, and that's because we've changed our passive node 3. So we remove, this is quite a bit of a YOLO mode because we've deducted 100% from our critical by removing these 3. Okay, but it gives us like the 20% critical hit chance. Remove this 3, and then remove this jewel socket and this one. Put one in here, and then put the socket here, and then remove the maximum mana. So from 4675, we're now at 4435. That's okay. So what we did is it made way to, because we're losing this maximum mana, it means less mana regeneration, but because of this, the 66% increased mana regeneration rate, we can remove it and we can still sustain our mana regen. So it made way to put in this, the Stormbreaker. So Stormbreaker, 15% increased damage for each type of elemental ailments on enemy. So what are these? These are Ignite, Chill, Freeze, Shock, and Electrocute. So we got Ignite, we got Chill, we got Shock from the same skill, and then our Electrocute would be coming from Orb of Storm. So let's say, for example, Alva is the boss. What we'll do is we're gonna put that in. We're gonna put Ignite. We're gonna hit him. Also, we're gonna put that. And I just during my testing, I found that putting this one in, so increased damage with hits against enemies affected by elemental ailments, which the enemy has everything. And if this one, increased damage with hits against enemies affected by elemental ailments, all 3. And this one, the 30% increased chance to inflict ailments against rare or unique enemies. So it's almost every time that when you hit a boss, it just give shock, electrocute, all the ailments, and so this would proc as well. 15% times how many elements we have? 5. So that's 75% damage plus 24 plus 12 plus 12 plus 12. So it's just a one shot kill. Yeah, so that's the update, and hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you liked the video, just share it with your friends. And thank you for watching. Have a good one, guys. Bye for now.
Die forgotten. Not yet.
Ganda na sa clearing to. Tangay na yung boss na lang ang problema. Mahina ng damage.
Ano naman?
grind naman pambili ng ang magandang gadget. Okay, mag-craft ka.
Hindi, okay na sa weapon. Babaguhin ko lang yung ano, yung build nito sa ano,
Jewel.
sa jewel tsaka sa ano. Kasi puro stun tsaka stun duration yung mga jewel ko eh.
Not yet.
Pati yung mga ano ko, mga ring ko, puro fire.
Pinagbebenta mo na. Pinagbebenta mo na yung mga ano. Benta mo para return profit.
Sweat.
So,
Let's go.
at the eve of the end, the demon of Azzoatl has finally come for me.
I can't do that yet.
I can't give up. I must save my people.
Not yet.
No, I will succeed. Burn to ash, demon of Azzoatl.
Hey! It's just level 81 though. Should be 82. I don't have that map right now.
Garu Khan favors me.
Well,